General Hospital spoilers: Drew blackmails Sidwell after Heran's death. Willow wins custody. The soap opera universe of General Hospital has always thrived on jaw-dropping shocks, morally gray decisions, and emotionally charged battles. This September, fans should brace themselves for some of the most gut-wrenching and unpredictable drama yet. At the center of the storm stand Drew Cain, Willow Tate Corinthos, and the shadowy forces of Sidwell in the aftermath of Heran's tragic death. The fallout will ripple through Port Charles, affecting every corner of the canvas and setting the stage for high-stakes confrontations, courtroom showdowns, and shocking betrayals. In this extended spoilers breakdown, we'll dive deep into the intertwining storylines, unpack the emotional ramifications, and speculate on how Drew's desperate choices and Willow's legal triumph will reshape the future of Port Charles. Heran, a name that has lingered in the shadows of Port Charles for months, finally meets a devastating end. What began as a side plot of mysterious dealings with Sidwell and hidden alliances explodes into tragedy when Heran is found dead under suspicious circumstances. The question haunting everyone: was this an accident, a suicide, or yet another calculated murder orchestrated by Port Charles's darkest players? The death occurs in a chilling sequence at the Metro Court. A lavish event was underway, meant to celebrate a charitable cause spearheaded by Carly, but as so often happens in Port Charles, the night took a sinister turn. Heran was last seen arguing with Sidwell in hushed but heated tones near the elevators. Hours later, his lifeless body was discovered in the hotel's underground parking garage. The news spreads like wildfire. Anna Devane and Dante Falconeri immediately launch an investigation, while Jordan Ashford suspects foul play. Carly is shaken, her hotel once again a crime scene, and Sonny wonders if this death connects to the larger mob underworld that continues to shadow his empire. But no one feels the loss more directly than Drew Cain, who had begun quietly working with Heran to unravel Sidwell's secrets. Drew's grief quickly morphs into fury. He knows deep down that Sidwell is responsible, even if not directly, then through the web of dangerous dealings that ensnared Heran. Drew has always walked a fine line between moral integrity and ruthless necessity. After Heran's death, that line disappears completely. Viewers will see a darker side of Drew emerge, one that is willing to use any means necessary to protect those he loves and avenge the man he couldn't save. While sorting through Heran's belongings, Drew stumbles upon a flash drive. On it, encrypted financial records linking Sidwell to a series of offshore accounts, dirty dealings with international arms dealers, and even possible ties to Brennan's old network. The evidence is enough to ruin Sidwell's career permanently, but also enough to put Drew in the crosshairs of a very powerful enemy. Drew makes a fateful decision. Rather than immediately turning the evidence over to Anna, he confronts Sidwell privately. In a tense showdown at Pier 55, Drew threatens to release the files unless Sidwell complies with his demands. His terms? Sidwell must publicly clear Heran's name, ensuring he is remembered not as a criminal but as a man caught in Sidwell's schemes. Sidwell must step away from his influence in Port Charles politics, leaving Drew free to continue his quiet mission. Sidwell must provide Drew with insider information about other corrupt players in exchange for Drew's silence. This blackmail sets Drew on a treacherous path. While he believes he is acting for justice, he is also opening himself to manipulation, and Sidwell is not a man to take threats lightly. While Drew plays a dangerous game with Sidwell, Willow Tate Corinthos faces her own war in the courtroom. The battle for custody of Wiley reignites, dredging up old wounds and forcing Willow to once again face Nellie's lingering presence. After Drew's shooting and the mounting chaos in the Corinthos family, Michael falters emotionally. His grief and obsession with vengeance against those who hurt Drew make him appear unstable in the eyes of family court. This shift creates an opening for Willow to step into the spotlight as the stable, nurturing parent. Adding fuel to the fire, Nina, still battling for scraps of a relationship with Wiley, makes a shocking move by petitioning for visitation rights. She argues that as Wiley's grandmother, she deserves a place in his life. However, Willow refuses to budge, using Nina's past lies and manipulations as evidence that Nina is unfit for any role. The custody hearings become some of the most dramatic scenes in September. Willow, supported by Carly and even Sunny, delivers an emotional testimony about her love for Wiley and her determination to protect him from chaos. Michael, though visibly fragile, ultimately stands by Willow, admitting his faults but reinforcing her strength. In a stunning decision, the judge grants Willow full custody of Wiley, shutting Nina out completely. The victory brings Willow relief, but it also sets the stage for new rivalries. Nina vows revenge, and Michael is left to question if his spiral almost cost him everything. Sidwell may be cornered by Drew's blackmail, but he is no stranger to survival. The second half of this storyline takes a thrilling twist as Sidwell begins plotting his counterattack. Sidwell hires a private investigator to dig into Drew's past, hoping to find leverage of his own. Soon, whispers begin to spread about Drew's time in Pentonville, resurfacing old accusations about his supposed connections to dangerous prisoners. Could Sidwell be setting Drew up for another fall from grace? In a shocking twist, Sidwell discovers that Drew's closest vulnerability isn't his business dealings, but his family. When Sidwell learns about Willow's recent custody victory, he realizes he has the perfect pawn. By leaking damaging stories about Willow's past illness and Michael's unstable behavior, Sidwell aims to overturn the court's ruling and destroy Drew by proxy. This move escalates the war. Drew's decision to blackmail Sidwell suddenly looks like a double-edged sword, dragging Willow into the crossfire. Carly supports Drew at first, but when she realizes he is blackmailing Sidwell rather than working with Anna and the law, she lashes out. Their relationship faces its most dangerous test yet. Carly has always been drawn to men with dangerous edges, but will Drew's choices push her past her breaking point? Though Willow wins custody, Nina's vow for revenge means this feud is far from over. Fans can expect explosive confrontations at the hospital, at Crimson, and even at the Quartermain mansion. Nina's desperation could push her into alliances with dangerous figures, including Sidwell himself. While Drew believes he is honoring Heran's memory, Anna and Dante grow suspicious of his behavior. Could Drew's secrecy jeopardize the official investigation? And what happens if Sidwell manages to flip the narrative, painting Drew as a criminal once again? The dual arcs of Drew's blackmail plot and Willow's custody triumph create a dynamic contrast, one man's descent into shadows and one woman's rise into strength. Together, they represent everything that makes General Hospital irresistible: family, betrayal, justice, and revenge. As September unfolds, viewers will be left questioning. Will Drew outsmart Sidwell, or will his gamble cost him everything? Can Willow protect Wiley from the toxic influences still circling his life? And in the end, will justice for Heran ever truly be served? One thing is certain: Port Charles will never be the same.